Christian, hey, congratulations on your new film, Lights Out.
Thanks, Gig. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. It's great to see you again and on another action project like this. So
Yeah, man. Good to see you too.
so tell us what attracted you to direct Lights Out this time around?
Well, we were just coming off the heels of Section 8, literally, like we had just wrapped Section 8, same producer, Brandon Burrows, and there was an availability with Frank's schedule and I think Mackay's schedule, and they're like, hey, we can shoot this script. It's another movie we want to do. We can shoot this right away, like right after the holidays and right after New Year's. And and it's the script is again from my buddy Chad Law, who we've worked with quite a bit. And I read it and I was like, wow, this is, total old school 80s Roadhouse, Lionheart kind of vibe. And I said, I've never really, gone into this genre. So, I mean, personally, I love the genre, but I meant like I've never directed the genre of just a fight movie. And I was like, how can we make this contemporary and still feel grounded? So I kind of was like, I'm up for the challenge. And so here we go.
So how did you want to approach something? Because I've seen a lot of your films. They have a lot of good action sequences. Shoot 'em up sequences, which I'm not saying this film doesn't have it either. But how did you want to approach those sort of like street fight scenes in the fight choreography for this?
Yeah, we talked about that quite a bit, and we definitely approached it from a brawler perspective, as opposed to a very highly stylized, choreographed like John Wick fighting. This is definitely we're like, how about what if we went the opposite of that and just went brawlers, And I did a lot of little research on this, and I know this kind of underground world a little bit because when I first started my career back in whenever when I was editing, just doing editing jobs, like I edited this thing called Felony Fights, and it was just like this. It was just they paid people underground to fight each other, and so I was like, man, I know this world. I know what this is about. So, and these guys weren't trained, skilled professional boxers. They're just fighters, and the ones that had more skill sets really stood out. So very much like this movie. So I think we really try to come at it from a very brawler's perspective.
Now, I do have to admire. I enjoyed some of the fight scenes. I enjoyed the special. I want to call it X-ray shots that you
Yeah.
actually put it in those fight scenes. Was that always
No,
in the script, or was that something you added in there?
no, like I said, I got to give that to credit to where it's deserved. It's the producer, Brandon Burrows, brought this as an 11th hour idea in the cut. And I was definitely like on the fence about it. And we were discussed it quite a bit because I was like, obviously I was always so careful to try to make sure this movie felt grounded and never cheesy. So I was like, man, is this one step too much? Does it feel cheesy? And then we watched the movie again. And we're like, this feels pretty cool. And then we like watched it again, like, no, we don't overuse it. It's just cool enough. And it really kind of drives home the point of the damage it's doing, and also kind of drives home the point at the end when the last time we used is when he kills the cop guy and snaps the neck, and that really kind of drove home the point because without that little X-ray effect, it really just drove home like, oh wow, that guy he's dead. You snapped his neck. So it really was an 11th hour thing, and it was a good idea. And yeah, that was all the producer, Brandon Burrows, man.
Now, how much prep time did you put Frank through something like this, or Frank some natural? Because it would have been different if it was like Scott Atkins, for example, right? Because he fought all his life, but I mean, Frank has done his share of action films too.
Yeah, well, Frank is a very trained, he's a trained boxer. So Frank trains like I want to say like almost every day. So I mean, and that's I've been a fan of Frank for a long, long time. And in LA, I used to go to the same gym that he would go to, and I would see him just box and work, and I'm like, man, this guy's legit. He's the real deal. And so doing this movie with him, showcasing those skill set, it was a piece like he really was. It was like another day at the office for him.
You know, I did. It's funny to me is because watching several movies, familiar faces show up in
Yeah,
your films. Do you have everyone on like speed dial or on some kind of group chat or something
yeah,
like, hey, I'm making an action movie. Come
yeah,
on
come
board.
down. Yeah, look, I think that's the cool thing. I mean, look, yeah, the big guys do it, Scorsese, Cameron, all these guys, and the indies do it and things. So I think it's really cool to be able to work with friends and guys that and gals that you can really rely on to fill out some of these roles.
Tell us about using Dermot Mulroney, as a villain. I feel like he's been playing a lot of villains lately.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, look, in Section 8 he was the villain, and I feel in this one he's just this opportunist, and I think like Dermot plays the opportunist that gets caught in the middle of the real villain, who's Jamie King and her sidekick Paul Sloan. But Dermot's an amazing talent. I mean, the guy's a legend. He's been around forever. I'm lucky that we got to. This is our second time around. It won't be the last time for sure. Definitely plan on working with him again this year. But Dermot's just a tried and true actor that is just has gravitas. He comes in, nails it, brings it, makes it his own, and it's a guaranteed win all the time with guys like that. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think his character was great. It was just like I said, an opportunist that it didn't go well.
Now, Christian, you've done so many action films, and of course, there's always these shooting war-like scenes in almost nearly every movie. How do you keep it fresh for yourself?
What's funny is so the war flashbacks in this one, I really tried to. There was a few more things that I tried to like. We had never shot it at night, right? So I was like, okay, if we're gonna do this thing again, I'm like, I want it at night. I want it to be a lot of fire. I want it to look different. I want it to feel different. I definitely think, look, and it's like, man, I've shot at that same location, which is the American Sniper location.
Hmm.
I've shot that location a lot now. So I don't know. I just try to find a different angle about it, but I think that this one definitely feels a little different.
Most excellent. Well, let me start wrapping things up with you, Christian. So, what's up next on the plate for you? More action films?
No, actually, I mean, look, there's definitely some action films. I think there's all the new ones will have action with a spin, or there'll be thrillers, things like that. So, I think for myself, I'm always trying to keep it fresh too, and try to, do different things. Definitely, we have a fun action Christmas movie that's going to be a lot of fun. We have a sci-fi action thing, and then I have a shark thriller with Richard Dreyfuss coming out in the summer. So it's going to be really fun.
Most excellent. Well, it's always been a pleasure speaking with you. I mean, it's just a movie after movie, and hopefully, just like your action films, we get you. Hopefully, you get a breather once in a while.
No, no, hopefully not. Especially after the strikes last year. No more breathers. Let's go.
Okay, well then let's do it. Thank you very much. Next time, Christian. Thank you.
Thanks, Gig. Have a good one.